Hello guys, welcome back. In this video tutorial we will learn how to create a photo gallery or the photo grid application using reactjs and design components. We will see how to fetch the images from the server APIs and show them inside a grid of the cards and add a nice hover effect on each of these cards. Also we'll see how to add a search feature on that so that we fetch the related images based on the user search. Also we'll see how we can add a preview feature on each of these cards so that user can navigate between different variations of the same image, and user can rotate the image or zoom to see the details of each image. To see how we can achieve that, let's get started. I have an empty reactjs project that is using design, and right now it's showing nothing. So let's go ahead and start adding different components to create the app gallery or the photo grid application. So on the top we can show a typography that's showing the name of the app. So here we can say the typography from design, and we can say it's our title, and the text we are going to show is, we can say, Aamir's gallery. So if I save it, here you go. So we can add a little style to it, and we can say its text align is center. Here you go. And let's change the font family of this one as well. So maybe we can say it is a monospace. I save it. Okay, looks good. So we have added the title. Then here we can add a search bar. So for that we can say again add an input from the design, and we can say dot search. It is a search bar, right? If I save it, here you go. So we can add a little style to this one as well. We can say the maximum width of maybe 500 pixels. So we can say the max width is 500, and also we can say its display is flex, and we can add a margin as an auto so that it's centered, right? And I can write anything inside that, right? So we can implement the function, the onSearch function, right? And it will give us the value that user has entered, and we can save that value inside our state. So let's declare a state variable here, and here we can say use state the searched text, and by default it will be empty, and let's import it from the React. So once user enters anything inside that and hit the enter button, then this onSearch function will be called, and we will be getting the value that user has entered inside that. So we can save that value inside our state. We can say set search text to the value that user has entered, right? We have saved this value, and later on we will be fetching our, you can say, the photo grid or the pictures based on the value user has searched, right? Okay, after that, after this search, we will be showing a list of the photos, right? So here we can show the list, and inside that we will be providing the data source. So let's declare our data source here as a state. So we can say use state data source, and by default it will be an empty array, right? And on the start of the application, we will be fetching all of our images from server. So we can say inside use effect, we will be fetching our photos. So now in the dependencies, we can add the search text as a dependency. So as soon as user enters something here and user hit the enter, so our state will be changing, and this dependency will be changing, and as a result this use effect will be called, and here we will be making the API call, right? So what it will be doing is, as soon as we made a search here, it will make another call and fetch the related search photos from the server, right? And for the photos, we will be fetching all of those from dummy JSON, and for that we will be using search products API call, So what it will be doing is we will be fetching it, and we will be providing our search query here, and it will be showing us all of the products. So from here we will be only using the thumbnail. That means we are only using, you can say, the images, right? So we are showing the grid of the images, and we will be searching against this API call by providing the search text here, and it will be giving us a list of products, and from there we will be only using this thumbnail key, right? So we are mimicking the behavior that we have saved the images on the server, and we are fetching those here, right? So we can copy this one, and we can add that here. We can say fetch that, and q will be equal to the search text instead of this phone. So we can add that inside a backtick, and here we can say dollar the search text, and okay, if I save it, and instead of the console, here we will be getting the response, and we will be saying that set data source to the response. The spell is not correct. Okay, so we can say it's our response dot, it will be in the products, right? So we can copy this one, and it will be response dot products, right? So in the data source we are saving all of these products, right? And here in the list we will be providing the data source that we have inside our state, and then we will be implementing the render item, and it will be giving us the item, and here we can return any of our component. So here we can return a card, so we can say return a card, and we can provide the key to it. What is unique? It's the ID, right? So we can say it's item dot ID, right? Let's import that card from the ND and save it. So what it shows, use effect is not imported, so let's import the use effect, save it. Here you go, it has added all of those rows, right? So here inside the card we can add anything that needed. So we are only showing the images, so we will be returning the image component from the end design. So here we can add the source equal to the item dot thumbnail. So the same property we have here, the thumbnail, right? Okay, if I save it, here you go, it has added the images fetched from the dummy JSON, right? And I can search here anything. We can say it is a woman, so it has shown the items those are related to the woman. And if I change it to something else, maybe we can say home, it shows the images related to our home. So while I'm changing this search text, we can show the loading while it's fetching the new images. So for that we can declare a state variable here that we can say the use state loading, and by default it's false. And here when we are making the API call, then we can say set loading to true, and once we have the data, then we can say set loading to false, right? And here in the list we can add a loading prop, so it's a loading prop, and it will be equal to the loading we have in the state, right? Maybe I can change it to lab. Here you go, it was showing the loading, right? And if I make it to full screen, right now it's showing one card in a row, so we can change it to maybe 3 card or 4 card, or maybe we can make it responsive so that we are showing the cards based on the available space. So for that what we can do is we can say inside a grid prop, and here we can say if it's the XS resolution, then show one card, and if it's a small resolution, then show maybe 2 cards, and if it's a medium, then show 3 cards, and if it's a large, then show 5 cards, and if it's a XL, then show 6 card, and sorry, it should be 4 and 5, and then if it's a double XL, then show the 6 card, right? So for the very small, we are showing 1 card, then 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 cards, right? So we are gradually increasing the number of cards as the resolution increases, right? If I save it, here you go, it has shown 5 cards on my screen. It will increase to 6 cards, or it will decrease the number of cards as soon as I'm decreasing the resolution. So showing 3 cards in this resolution, and I'm decreasing it, showing 2 cards, and then it's go to the 1 card, right? And here you see that each card is not of equal height, so we can add some styling to the card. So here we can say the style to the card is equal to, we can give it height of maybe 300 pixels. If I save it, here you go, it has added the equal height to all of these, right? And we can add a little margin between these cards as well. So we can say the margin is maybe the 12 pixels, and here you go, it has added the margin as well. And if we click on any of these image, it will show that in the preview, right? Here you go. And we can show different images in the preview as well. So if we go to the API call, and it is returning us some more images as well, so we can show these images in the preview as well. So let's implement that. And here we can say in the image, we can say the preview is equal to, we can say it's visible is false, so we won't be showing the preview from here. So now if I'm clicking on this, we are not showing the preview, right? So instead what we will be doing is we will be showing preview inside a different preview group. So here we can say on click of this image, we can save our images inside you can say the state, right? So here we can say the preview images inside the state, use state preview images, and by default it will be an empty array, right? And here as soon as we get click on any of the image, we can say set preview images is equal to the item dot images, right? So we have the preview images inside the images prop, right? So we can say we are setting the preview images inside a state, right? And after the list here, we can say if the preview images dot length is greater than 0, then we can show some we can say image dot preview group, right? And inside that we will be showing all of our images from the preview images array. So here we'll be looping on that. We can say the preview images dot map, and it will give us a single image. And here we can say brackets missing here, okay. And here we can return the image with the source is equal to this image, right? And this we can close it, right? And if the length is equal to 0, then we will be showing nothing, right? Sorry, it should be inside here, nothing, right? And also here we can say the preview is equal to its visible will be true if we have anything inside the preview. Click any of these. Here you go, we have shown the preview images. So 4 or 5, right? And if I can even rotate that, zoom that. I can zoom on any particular part, maybe here, right? So it's very a cool feature. I can zoom in any part of the image, right? Now if I click on the close, it's not closing because we have not implemented the visible change method. So we can say on visible change, it will be giving us a value whether it's shown or not. So here we can say if not of value, if it's false, then we can say set preview images to the empty array, right? So if I save it now, so now if I preview it and if I click on the close, it will close, and if I click anywhere else, it will again close, right? So I can go to any other category. So click on any of these images, so 105, 205, 305, right? So we have shown all of these images in a preview instead of a single image, right? And we have made our app responsive. So if I go to in a mobile view and go to maybe the iPhone, this is how it will look like, right? And here we can add a little padding here as well, right? So let's go to the code, and on the very top, so maybe instead of this fragment, we can say it's inside a space, and from end design, and we can say give it a style of adding of padding. Maybe we can say it's 0 pixel from the top and the bottom, and maybe 16 pixel is enough from both sides, and we can add its direction to be vertical. Okay, the direction is vertical. Now if I save it, here you go. So the title, then the search text, and then showing the images, right? And if I change this to maybe pixel 5, again 1 card, and if I change it to iPad Air, showing 3 cards, right? And if I change it to maybe the Galaxy Fold, the 1 card, and on the Nest Hub, it's showing the 4 cards, right? And I can search here, and if I again go to the desktop, this is how it will look like on the desktop version, right? And here on each of the card, we can add a hoverable effect on each card as well. So for that, we can go to the card, and we can say it has a hoverable as true. And if I save it and come back, here you go, it has added a very nice hoverable effect, right? And also we can add some text here. We can say showing results for maybe this search text, right? So for that, we can go to here, and we can say under our typography dot simple text, we can say showing results for, and here we can say if there is anything in the search text, then show that. Otherwise we can say for all, right? And if I save it, here you go, showing results for women. And if I make it empty, showing results for all. And if I change it to maybe laptop, showing results for laptop, right? And showing results for home. And here you see it has added the image in a full height. We can add a styling to the cards like that. It is, the overflow is hidden. So here we can say the overflow is hidden. If I save it, here you go, so it has added the image within the container of the card, right? Maybe we can make this home as a bold. So we can say this is again a typography dot text and wrap this text inside that, and we can say the strong is true. If I save it, here you go. So showing results for home, showing results for women, showing results for men. Okay, showing results for, maybe we can say, the watches, right? So this is how we can create a gallery app, or we can say the photo grid app, and we can add a search on that, and we can fetch all of our images from the server. So as a summary, what we did is we created some state variables. We have created search tags to capture the whatever user has entered inside the search, and then we have added a data source to save all of the images that we have fetched from the server. Then we have created a loading state to show the loading while we are fetching the images, and then we have created a preview images to show the images in the preview when user click on any of the these cards, right? Then we have added a use effect. Inside that we have added the dependency of search tags, so that as soon as user changes the search and hit the enter button, this use effect will be called, and we show the loading as true at the very start, and then we fetch the images and we set the loading to false once we have fetched the images, and we have updated our data source accordingly, right? And in the return or the render, we have added the space. We added the space only for adding the padding on the left and the right side, right? And then on the top we added our typography for showing the app name. Then we added the input search and added some style on that, and on search we are only changing our state, right? And then we're showing some typography to show the results based on the user search, and then we are showing the list and setting its loading to true or false based on the state variable loading. While we are fetching, it will be true, and once we have fetched the images, it will be false, right? And we added our data source there, and we have made that responsive by setting the grid for each of these resolutions, setting different cards for each of these resolution. And then in the render item we are returning a card and setting its variable and adding a unique key, and then giving it a style, and in each of card we are showing only the image, right? And once user click on the image, we set the preview images based on that particular atom's images, right? And at the end we are showing the preview, and once we click on the atom we will be setting the images inside that, and if we have set that, then the length will be greater than 0, and we will be showing the preview images, right? And setting the preview images true or false accordingly. And on change of this, when user click on anywhere else or click on this close button, then this visible change will be called, and if the visible is false, so because when user click on this one, its visible is true right now, right? So once the visible is false, then we will setting the preview images to the empty array, right? So that the preview this preview is not rendered, instead it will render the null, right? So this is how we have created a gallery or the photo grid application. But still, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. And if you have learned something in this video, please hit like, subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video. Thank you.